Hey everybody, welcome back. My name's Rowan, and we're playing Dragon Age Origins. So I decided to do an Origins in general Dragon Age run, just because later on this year, supposedly, at least according to the news I've read, they will be releasing Dragon Age 4, finally, after all this time. Anyway, there are a lot of people that are going to be wanting to catch up on the story, and these games, Dragon Age 1 and 2 in particular, are actually quite dated. So rather than play them, these some types of people will like to watch the story instead. And so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to showcase the game's story and some of the gameplay, of course. Although the story is going to be more important as usual. And we'll go from there. Just forewarning, I do have mods. The only mods that I have are going to be quality of life type mods. Nothing game breaking, nothing that's a cheating mod. There's a lot of bugs in this game, especially since it's so old, and you know we're like 3 operating systems overdue, maybe 4. I don't know. It's been a long time, especially for Origins. So anyway, the mods that I have fix bugs. Fix bugs that are in the base game, fix bugs that are make it compatible with today's operating systems, like the 4 GB patch for the executable. And then there's some other ones that are quality of life. Subtitle sizes and stuff are a little bit wonky in the base game, so I fixed that for your viewing pleasure. And also, there's a slight running speed increase out of combat, specifically for out of combat. When you're back in combat, we're back to that slow, hunched-over, ugly-looking gait that's in the base game. But I wanted to keep this as somewhat vanilla as possible. I also added a respecking. It's in every game, including Awakening, just not in Origins. And this is not a game where you make a mistake, you'd have to re-roll your character. So we're not going to do that. Anyway, sorry for the mouse doodles on the screen here. It's what I do. I gotta move something. Anyway, we'll go ahead and get started here.
The Chantry teaches us that it is the hubris of men which brought the Darkspawn into our world. The mages had sought to usurp heaven, but instead, they destroyed it. They were cast out, twisted and cursed by their own corruption. They returned as monsters, the first of the Darkspawn. They became a blight upon the lands, unstoppable and relentless. The Dwarven kingdoms were the first to fall, and from the deep roads, the Darkspawn drove at us again and again, until finally we neared annihilation. Men and women from every race, warriors and mages, barbarians and kings. The Grey Wardens sacrificed everything to stem the tide of darkness and prevail. been 4 centuries since that victory, and we have kept our vigil. We have watched and waited for the Darkspawn to return. But those who once called us heroes have forgotten. We are few now, and our warnings have been ignored for too long. Seen with my own eyes what lies on the horizon. Maker, help us all.
Great intro. Alright, well, this is the character creation screen. As you can see, we've got our standards, male and female, of course. We've got human, elf, dwarf. We've got warrior, mage, and rogue. And then several different backgrounds, or origins, if you will. I guess that would be why they call it Dragon Age Origins. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think I am. There are certain combinations you can't choose. For example, if you play a dwarf, you can't be a mage. Dwarves are resistant to magic, and they don't dream. And you'll learn about that in the game. The lore behind mages and why there are no dwarf mages and stuff. Anyway, I think we're going to pick a female dual-wielding warrior. Warriors get the option of dual-wielding full-size weapons. Actually, rogues get that option too, but they usually don't take it. Rogues usually do daggers and cunning and dexterity, while warriors don't really rely on cunning. Only have enough dexterity for defensive purposes and to reach certain talents in the dual-wielding tree. And then after that, it's pretty much exclusively strength. Maybe a little bit of willpower. So that way we have the endurance to use our abilities. As a matter of fact, one key difference between rogue dual-wielders and warrior dual-wielders. Warrior dual-wielders usually make use of the abilities, activated skills, rather than using sustained abilities and just auto-attacking, which is why I'm choosing the warrior, by the way. I like a more active playstyle, rather than just right-clicking on an enemy and watching my character auto-attack him till he's dead from behind. I mean, that's fun for some people, I'm sure, if you like easy, the game to be super, super easy. I usually play on Nightmare. So the game is very difficult, but I still, again, I like an active gameplay, and I like to set it to where I'm only having to really control my own character rather than switch between characters and stuff. So I actually use tactics. I'll show you all of that coming up pretty soon. I'm gonna play a female because I want a specific outcome in the game involved in romances and well, I don't want to want any spoilers, but basically there's a certain outcome that you can only get with a female human that I prefer as my headcanon, or at least I prefer it as my headcanon in this particular playthrough. And I do plan on playing the other ones too, Awakening, Dragon Age 2, and Inquisition, and use the save states for each game for the other games after. So use the save state for Dragon Age 1 in Dragon Age 2, and Dragon Age 1 and 2's save state will go into Dragon Age 3 gameplay. So that's one of the cool things about these games, and Mass Effect's like that too. I actually plan on playing Mass Effect Trilogy along with Andromeda eventually too on this channel. I'm a big fan of BioWare. Stored gameplay, as you know by now, I'm sure. Anyway, let's go ahead and create our character. Obviously, we got to change the name. And I'm going to go ahead and do a pause so that way you don't have to watch the grueling process of me going through all of these little options for half an hour. Alright, so this is the character I created. I think she's very pretty, don't you think? I'm sure the person that she romances, who I will not name as a spoiler, will appreciate her beauty. Okay. Okay. Alrighty, let's see. So, warrior, she's going to be using medium heavy armor, I believe. Probably heavy armor. Maybe even massive. We'll see. I don't know how massive will look on her. Not that that's the determining factor here. Obviously, we're going to use what works best. I think heavy armor is probably where we're gonna stop. If we go too massive, it increases the fatigue, I guess. Yeah, the fatigue rating. So they'll have less use of use of abilities. All right, so we're gonna need some cunning, and we're gonna need some dexterity. I'm thinking we'll do with 16 dexterity for now. We'll do a 13 cunning. Cunning is going to get us the ability to use coercion. You know what? I think to start, we're just going to go with combat training and then coercion up here. We'll put another into coercion soon enough. But I don't think we need it so much at the very beginning of the game. Right? And then we'll have precise striking, powerful, and dual weapon training. I think that's it. You can technically be an archer as a warrior, although it's not as good as a rogue archer. Just like dual wielding is probably not as good as a rogue dual wielding. You could be weapon and shield, that will be your tank. And you could be a two-handed, giant two-hander weapons. Very, very slow, but they do powerful swings. Do quite a bit of damage. Whether that's as much damage as dual wielding, I don't know. I don't think so. I think dual wielding has more activated abilities. Cripple, riposte, sweep, flurry, whirlwind, punisher. Good lord. It's basically more to do with as a dual wielder, and it's more fast-paced, I think. So that's where I'm going to go. Not to mention that typically, if you're going to have a woman warrior, they're going to be using smaller, lighter weapons rather than the giant two-hander weapons. All right. And we're going to play on Nightmare. Woohoo! Let's do this.
For generations, your family, the Kuzlans, has stewarded the lands of Highever, earning the loyalty of your people with justice and temperance. When your country was occupied by the Orlesian Empire, your father and grandfather served the embattled kings of your land. Today, your elder brother takes up House Kuzlan's banner in service to the crown, not against the men of Orlais, but against the bestial darkspawn rising in the south.
I trust then that your troops will be here shortly.
I expect they will start arriving tonight, and we can march tomorrow. I apologize for the delay, my lord. This is entirely my fault.
No. The appearance of the Darkspawn in the south has us all scrambling, doesn't it? I only received the call from the king a few days ago myself. I'll send my eldest off with my men. You and I will ride tomorrow just like the old days.
True. that we both had less grey in our hair then, and we fought all legions, not monsters.
At least the smell will be the same. I'm sorry, Papa, I didn't see you there. How? You remember my daughter?
I see she's become a lovely young woman. Pleased to see you again, my dear.
Yeah, this is much better. You should have saw what this looked like with my resolution before the mod. This was this tiny little area over here. It was ridiculous.
My son Thomas asked after you. Perhaps I should bring him with me next time. Good. My son's rather fascinated with stories of your prowess as a warrior. I dare say he'd like to test it firsthand.
Oh, what does that mean?
Great Pup, I summoned you for a reason. While your brother and I are both away, I'm leaving you in charge of the castle. Now, that's what I'd like to hear. Only a token force is remaining here, and you must keep peace in the region. You know what they say about mice when the cat is away. Yes. There's also someone you must meet. Please, show Duncan.
What a sharp salute.
It is an honor to be a guest within your hall, Tyrant Boostland.
Your lordship, you didn't mention that a Grey Warden would be present.
Duncan arrived just recently, unannounced. Is there a problem?
Of course not. But a guest of this stature demands certain protocol. I am at a disadvantage.
We rarely have the pleasure of seeing one in person, that's true. Pup, Brother Aldous taught you who the Grey Wardens are, I hope.
Not permanently, I fear.
Without their warning of the Darkspawn rising now, half the nation could have been overrun before we'd had a chance to react. Duncan is looking for recruits before joining us and his fellow wardens in the south. I believe he's got his eye on Sir Gilmore.
If I might be so bold, I would suggest that your daughter is also an excellent candidate.
Honor though that might be, this is my daughter we're talking about.
You did just finish saying that Grey Wardens are heroes, old friend.
I've not so many children that I'll gladly see them all off to battle. Unless you intend to invoke the right of conscription.
Have no fear. While we need as many good recruits as we can find, I've no intention of forcing the issue.
Pup, can you ensure that Duncan's requests are seen to while I'm gone? In the meantime, find Fergus, and tell him to lead the troops to Ostagar ahead of me. Upstairs in his chambers, no doubt, spending some last moments with his wife and my grandson. Be a good lass and do as I've asked. We'll talk soon.
I always thought this game had good atmosphere. Like sun shafts and stuff like that. It looks nice. I mean, the graphics aren't perfect, and there's some low resolution textures and stuff like that, but it's not bad for its age. Not bad at all. Look at the wood on the shield. It's pretty great. Not that I'm going to be using shields. As a matter of fact, let's take a look at what... Oh, man. Well, that's what I get for getting this enlarged. It's going to look a little janky, I think. Go ahead and use that. It's a tome that gives us another skill point to use. Let's see. Weapons. We can't use any of these yet because they are, as you can see, the strength requirement for that's 31. Dex requirements for that is 26. These are from the DLC, by the way, if you didn't know. Some of the DLC in the game, including the Sorrows of Arlathan. Also, the battle dress of the Provocateur is from Leliana's song. Some of it we can wear, though. I can wear this. And I can wear the helmet, which is going to look silly. I'm sorry, we don't wear helmets during cutscenes, so it'll only look silly while we're like this. It'll look better later once I've got full armor. There we go. And we'll just have to get another a dagger soon. First, we're going to start with a full-size weapon in the main hand and a dagger in the offhand. Only because we can't actually wield full-size weapons in both hands until we get right here. Dual weapon mastery, level 12, 36 dexterity. We'll be able to wield full-size weapons in both hands. Meanwhile, this will have to do. Alright, we got a little bit of a skill level up here. So we're going to hit next and choose our next skill. There we go. Coercion. We'll get poison making too if we can. We're going to fill up this row, then this row, and then we'll do poison making. Alrighty. We're gonna go find our brother who's in his room. But we're gonna do so in a very exploratory manner.
We will serve you while the Terran is away.
The castle is so eerie with everyone preparing to ride south. It'll be so empty.
Oh, I forgot to talk to these guys in here. See if they have anything else to say.
Shouldn't you be off to your brother, as I asked? Your brother and I go into battle, not an afternoon tea. Who knows what will happen to us? I will tell you, however, you're my darling daughter. I love you, and I trust you completely to carry on the Kuzlin name if the worst should happen. But don't worry about me, dear girl. You'll have enough to occupy your mind while I'm gone. When the king demands it. In fact, not sending our forces south would be a distinctly bad idea. Don't worry, pup. You shouldn't see many problems, but I want you to prepare the men left here, in case. Legends of the Blights tell of horrible things. These Darkspawn once threatened many lands. If we can't hold them, we must prepare for the worst. I know you will. You are a Kuzlin, after all. But let's not speak of ominous things. We shall assume that all will go well, and the Maker will watch over us. Upstairs in his chambers, no doubt, saying goodbye to Oriana and your nephew. I'll talk to you soon. Just let me finish my meeting with Duncan.
Yes? We fought together under King Marek when he drove the Orlesians out of Ferelden. Heady times. The years since have not held the same promise. It's not something a youth would understand. It will be good to ride beside your father again. Your father hasn't spoken of our time with him? That man took care of his friends. As they say, he was large as life and twice as tall. It's too bad Kalen isn't half that. I think of him as much as he thinks at all.
That's enough, Hal. You speak of our king.
The girl did ask, your lordship. As per the latitude you allow. I merely offered my opinion.
Alright.
The topic has come up from time to time. The young and their infatuations. I'm sure that was years ago. People change. To be honest, I have no expectations, and your father seems determined to let you find your own way. If something did happen, well, we'd address it as befits a family of our stature. I'm sure there will be much to discuss once I return. Poor weather, I believe. Their progress has been slow, but it's nothing you need worry about. In a manner of speaking, if I had reinforced our border levies earlier, my troops could have left before the rains. I confess, my confidence in your father allowed me some complacency. I guess that makes it as much his fault. I thank you. That is quite unnecessary.
About you,
I'm
Mr.
sorry,
Grey Warden.
I believe your father wishes to talk to the Arl and myself alone. Your father has left you in charge of the castle? Then I will see you at dinner tomorrow, if not sooner. As do I. Until then.
Yeah, so if you see flashing like this, by the way, that's just me hitting my shortcut, my keybind for basically revealing anything that's interactable. So notice how the door will light up, and these people with their names and everything just means that I can interact with them.
Greetings, my lady. You are the Terran's daughter, are you not? That is good to know. I understand you shall take charge of your father's castle once we march. Ah, then I wish you luck. Good evening, my lady.
I like how you can either play the dutiful daughter, or you can or son, you know, depending on what you chose, or you can be rebellious. You know, I mean, the story is going to be the same either way for the most part, but at least they kind of you know, make it an option for you. Okay, there was nothing in here, right? Hey, look, a chest.
It is begun.
Ah, right. Okay, so that unlocking chests is a rogue's job, which I'm not a rogue. You can actually use a rogue in your party, but I don't have a party yet, so. And the rogue has to have the skills and ability points for it, skill points for it, etc. Hall. That's locked. So is that one.
It is begun.
Like a chapel. Looks like there's some books we can pick up here. A couple people we could talk to also. So when you click on the books, it does give you things to read. I'll show you. You go to the journal, you go to Codex, and it gives you these little entries here that you can scroll down and read about the lore. It's really not necessary. If you're an enthusiast like I am, which I've already done, you can go through these and read all of the extra little tidbits. But honestly, they do explain the game good enough, well enough, that it's really not necessary. You'll get all of this lore, or most of it anyway, all of the important tidbits, just through gameplay and watching cutscenes and conversations. I tend to basically choose exhausting all conversation options over reading the lore books in most cases. However, I have read most of the lore books in this game, so, and all of the Dragon Age games.
Maker, prepare a place for us. Redeem our world from sin. Forgive our transgressions.
Maker,
Forgive us all!
Have you come to pray for your brother and father? I'd be happy to ask for the Maker's blessings with you. Please, child, call me Malol. I've known you since you were a wee babe after all. Creator of the sky, the land, and the sea. Hear your people in our time of need. Let no man have cause to fear the shadows. Let their souls be lifted upon your return. So let it be. There now. I'll be keeping a vigil tonight. You're welcome to come. There are many more who must receive the Maker's blessings before they leave. If you would excuse me. It is the least I could do. If the worst comes to pass, child, take comfort in knowing that the Maker's will takes many forms. We shall talk once the soldiers have departed.
Alright, so my character is officially established as religious. Believes in the Maker.
Good evening, my lady.
I shall do it.
Oh, my lady, we were just, Well, the treasury's safe. I'm not even sure why the Terran stationed us here. I don't know. Nobody's come to look at the treasury. The Terran. And perhaps the Terraner? Honestly don't know, my lady. Yes, my lady. Thank you, my lady.
The dutiful daughter.
There you are. Your mother told me the Terran had summoned you, so I didn't want to interrupt. Pardon my abruptness, my lady. It's simply that I've been looking everywhere for you. I fear your hound has the kitchens in uproar once again, and is threatening to leave. No matter how the maids try to keep him out, he always finds a way in. You know these Mabari hounds. He'll listen to his mistress, but anyone else risks having an arm bitten off. I'm not willing to test that. You're quite lucky to have your own Mabari warhound, you know. Smart enough not to talk, my father used to say. Of course, that means he's easily bored. Nan swears he confounds her just to amuse himself. At any rate, your mother would have me accompany you until the matter is settled, shall we? She was entertaining Lady Landra and her son when I left her. Perhaps in the atrium? Before we go, my lady, might I beg a question? I've heard from several people that a Grey Warden is here. Is that true? Then, is it also true that this Grey Warden was asking after me? Maker's breath, are you certain? Can you imagine me, a Grey Warden? It would be everything I've dreamed of. Of course, I shouldn't get ahead of myself. Pardon my outburst. We really should go after your hound, my lady, before he does something worse. Only what everyone hears. I never expected to actually see one. So few of them are here in Ferelden. Never. You hear about Darkspawn attacking homesteads and travelers, but I thought they were just stories. I hear they only recruit the most skilled. It'd be disappointing if that wasn't true. I only know that once you become a Grey Warden, your old life is over. There's no going back. As you wish. But what if the Grey Warden tries to recruit you? Have you thought about it?
suppose you have many other options. Me? I would give anything to be recruited. I would were it my choice. Your father decided I should remain with the complement guarding the castle. I hope that's because this Grey Warden wishes to see me. Well, you know I've served your father for years, since my own father sent me to squire here. My father is a minor lord in the Bannorn, but our land is little more than a glorified farmstead. I do miss it though. The valleys of the Bannorn are beautiful this time of year. I take great pride in serving the town. Still, if I had the opportunity to join the Grey Wardens, I wouldn't hesitate. With his blessing, I imagine. Joining the Wardens is the highest service one can render. Of course, my lady. Lead on.
Good evening, my lady.
More books in here.
I shall do it.
Get 50 XP per book, looks like, so it's worth picking them up. It's a little hard to target them.
Good evening, my lady.
I have to read this whole chapter? Some of these words are so big. Are you marching off to war too? I wish I was old enough to fight.
Careful what you wish for, little buddy.
Hello, my dear girl. By chance, I am beginning to teach these young squires about your family's history.
Do we have to? History is boring.
Boys, you are referring to the Couslands, the very family in whose castle you live. Show some respect. I see you haven't changed. Perhaps it would benefit you to join our lesson. Wonderful. Oh, the Cousland history is long indeed. Where shall we start? Records are vague, but the Couslands became Tierns during the Black Age. Is that familiar, child? Good. I'm pleased some of my lessons seem to have stuck. At that time, your family held only the minor title of Ban. When the werewolves reached this area, Ban Mather Cousland organized a curfew and patrols within the city. Several other local bands supported his efforts by swearing oaths of fealty, making him their Tiern. Well, I'm glad some of my lessons don't disappear into that yawning chasm between your ears, young lady.
What an asshole. I guess he deserves it if he helped raise me, right?
It seems you've already plumbed the depths of your potential, then. A pity. At any rate, your family has held the tournure of High Ever since before King Calenhad united Ferelden. In fact, Tierna Elethea Cousland battled Calenhad to maintain High Ever's independence. The Couslands are ardent royalists now, but at that time, Calenhad was unknown and considered dangerous by many. When Calenhad's army reached High Ever, Tierna Elethea led the local bands against him. Obviously, Calenhad won. Calenhad wished to unite Ferelden, not conquer it. After Elethea's men were defeated, Calenhad asked her to swear fealty. The boulder where they held council still stands today as a memorial of that event. The history between the Couslands and the House reaches back to the Orlesian occupation. During the rebellion against Orlais, several battles were fought near High Ever. The port village of Harper's Ford was the tourneur's center. Its Arl was Tarleton Howe. Though nearly 90, he was still as sharp and bitter as cheap ale. Your grandfather openly supported the rebellion, but Howe sided with Orlais. Your family was forced to seize Harper's Ford before it was all over. Your grandfather couldn't afford to lose Harper's Ford. In keeping the town, your family drove Orlais from its lands. The Howes eventually joined the rebellion, when all of Ferelden united behind King Merrick and General Logain. Just as now we united behind Merrick's son, King Kaelin, to fight the Darkspawn. Thank you for indulging an old man.
Does that mean we have to listen to you now?
Silence! I will not have you two becoming smart-mouthed hooligans. Perhaps you should go. I doubt they need any more distraction. I'm just going to settle in here and apparently just talk to myself for a little.
And he's sleeping. Can we wake him up? Nope.
Very well.
There's always something new. Like, I don't remember talking to a lot of these people. Pull up the map here. We still have to go over here. We already went down there. Okay, I can hear the dog barking over here.
Get that bloody mutt out of the larder.
But mistress, it won't let us near.
If I can't get into that larder, I'll skin both of you useless elves. I swear it.
Calm down, good woman. We've come to help.
You and you. Your bloody mongrel keeps getting into my larder. That beast should be put down. Just get him gone. I've enough to worry about with a castle full of hungry soldiers. You two, stop standing there like idiots. Get out of the way.
Oh, look at that mess. How did he even get in here?
Look at his little nub.
He does seem like he's trying to tell you something. Wait, did you hear that?
Ah, combat. Giant rats.
Like the start of every bad adventure tale my grandfather used to tell. Your hound must have chased them in through their holes. Looks like he wasn't raiding the larder after all.
The blood spatter is ridiculous.
Those were rats from the Kokari Wilds. Best not to tell Nan. She's upset enough as it is. But seeing as you've got your Mabari well in hand, I'll be on my way. I'm to prepare for the arrival of more of the Isle's men.
Alright, well, so he's a temporary party member. Let's turn off this blood spatter, huh? This is a little insane. It's kind of distracting. Game. Persistent gore. That's what it's called, if you're interested. We'll pause at the start of combat. So you can actually pause, as you saw me doing, by the way. You can pause plenty in this game. You just hit spacebar. That's my keybind for it, at least. That's also another mod that I've got. A couple things. See how fast I'm running out of combat. That's part of it. And then also, I auto-loot everything around me. Instead of going through a loot window. Alright, so I suppose I should tell you about sustained abilities. So, basically, sustained abilities, like this one. The warrior tries to make each attack count, sacrificing attack speed for a bonus to attack as well as an increased chance to score critical hits for as long as this mode is active. So basically, it's like a stance. You can actually be in multiple stances at the same time, but if you look at the top of this, it says that it gives you 5% fatigue, and the upkeep is 40. So as you can see here, where my portrait is, I've got 40 stamina being reserved, so that way I can maintain this stance. And then this remaining yellow here is the remaining stamina that I can use toward my abilities, which I have no abilities right now, but it'll be important that I actually do. So this particular build that I have going on doesn't actually rely on a whole lot of stances. It relies mostly on abilities. There's a couple stances I'll have. For example, precise striking is actually a decent one. But generally speaking, it's 1 or 2 stances, and then the rest is just abilities. Alright.
There he is, as brazen as you please, licking his chops after helping himself to the roast, no doubt.
What? Rats? Not the large grey ones.
They'll rip you to shreds, they will.
See, now you've gone and scared the servants. I expect those filthy things are dead. Oh, I bet that dog led those rats into there to begin with. Oh, don't even start with the sad eyes. I'm immune to your so-called charms. Here then, take these pork bits and don't say that Nan never gives you anything. Bloody dog. Thank you, my lady. Now we can get to work. That's right, you two. Quit standing about.
Cool. Alright, now we've done everything in this circle. Now we can go in this direction.
And my dear Bryce bought this back from Orlais last year. The Marquis who gave it to him was drunk, I understand, and mistook Bryce for the king. Ah, here is my lovely daughter. I take it by the presence of that troublesome hound of yours that the situation in the kitchen is handled? You've always had a way with her. Darling, you remember Lady Landra, Ban Lawrence's wife?
I think we last met at your mother's spring salon.
Weren't you drunk?
You're too kind, dear girl. Didn't I spend half the salon trying to convince you to marry my son?
And made a very poor case for it, I might add.
You remember my son, Dyron. He's not married yet either.
Don't listen to her. It's good to see you again, milady. You're looking as beautiful as ever.
And this is my lady-in-waiting, Iona. Do say something, dear.
It is a great pleasure, my lady. You are as pretty as your mother describes.
And she says that after seeing you whacking stuffed men in the courtyard, sweating like a mule.
Your daughter's prowess with the blade is most impressive.
I was quite the battle maiden myself in my day. But I think it was the softer arts that helped me land a husband. All evidence to the contrary.
I think perhaps I shall rest now, my dear. Dyron, I will see you and Iona at supper.
Perhaps we'll retire to the study for now.
Good evening, your ladyship.
You should say goodbye to Fergus while you have the chance. Yes, your father mentioned that. You haven't got it into your head that you want to be recruited. There's enough here at the castle to occupy you. I don't need you off chasing danger like your brother. For a few days. Then I'll travel with Lady Landra to her estate and keep her company for a time. Your father thinks my presence here might undermine your authority. Don't worry, my dear. It won't be long. I know it's difficult to stay in the castle and watch others ride off, but we must see to our duties first. You understand that, don't you? Trust me. You'll get your chance for excitement soon enough. As do I. Your father and brother are marching off to fight Maker knows what. All the assurances in the world don't comfort me, but it wouldn't help for us to take up arms and follow. Fergus and your father have their duty and we have ours. If he's not out with his men, probably upstairs with Oriana. I love you, my darling girl. You know that, don't you? You've grown up so fast. And now Bryce is leaving you in charge of the castle. I suppose there's no point in dwelling on it. Go do what you must then. I will see you soon.
Locked. Open. Lock. Okay.
Very well.
Is there really going to be a war, Papa? Will you bring me back a sword?
That sword, Oren. And I'll get you the mightiest one I can find, I promise. I'll be back before you know it.
I wish victory was indeed so certain. My heart is disquiet.
Don't frighten the boy, love. I speak the truth. And here's my little sister to see me off. Now dry your eyes, love, and wish me well. Stay. I'd like to say farewell.
Really? Was he riding a griffin?
Shh, Oren. Griffins only exist in stories now.
I'd heard that. Did he say why he's come? Good for him. I hope he makes it. If I were a Grey Warden, though, I'd have my eye on you. Not that Father would ever allow it. Word from the south is that the battles have gone well. There's no evidence that this is a true blight, just a large raid.
Could that be true?
I'll see for myself soon enough. Pray for me, love, and I'll be back within a month or two. If it's any consolation, I'm sure I'll freeze in the southern rain and be completely jealous of you up here, warm and safe.
I am positively thrilled that you will be so miserable, husband.
Then the Isle's men are delayed. You'd think his men were all walking backwards. Well, I'd better get underway. So many Darkspawn to behead, so little time. Off we go then. I'll see you soon, my love.
I would hope, dear boy, that you plan to wait for us before taking your leave.
Be well, my son. I will pray for your safety every day you are gone.
The Maker sustain and preserve us all. Watch over our sons, husbands and fathers, and bring them safely back to us.
And bring us some ale and wenches while you're at it. For the men, of course.
Fergus, you would say this in front of your mother?
What's a wench? What you pull on to get the bucket out of the well.
A wench is a woman that pours the ale in a tavern, Oren. Or a woman who drinks a lot of ale.
Bryce. It's like living with a pair of small boys. Thankfully, I have a daughter.
I'll miss you, Mother dear. You'll take care of her, sister, won't you?
Oh, good. How thrilling to know I'm so well taken care of.
Enough, enough. Pup, you'll want to get an early night. You've much to do tomorrow.
Hey, look. And a level. Look at that. Let's see, we get some stat points. This will allow us to get more talents, abilities from the dual weapon tree. Such as bonuses to attack and defense. I suppose I could have gotten dual weapon sweep, but I prefer this for now.
Getting sent to bed early, are we? I'd rather that too. It'd be fun fighting side by side. Maybe next time. At any rate, I'll miss you. Take care of everyone, and be here when I get back.
You should be on your way, pup. Long day ahead tomorrow. Ah, I was wondering how long this would take. Has he asked to recruit you? If a blight is truly upon us in the south, then Grey Wardens will be needed. There is no higher calling. If it comes to that, we can talk about it when I get back. Until then, just show him every courtesy. Duncan is a fine man, and a hero. I know that you'll do me proud. You've grown into a sensible woman. That much is clear.
Best do as your father says, darling. I will see you in the morning, bright and early.
If you should need any assistance in the coming days, I would be glad to offer it.
Mama says you're going to be watching over us while Papa is gone. Is that true, Auntie? What if the castle is attacked? Will there be dragons?
Dragons are terrible creatures, Oren. They eat people.
Yeah, I want to see one.
This is your influence, Fergus.
What? I didn't say anything.
Are you going to teach me to use a sword, Auntie? Then I can fight evil too. Take that, Dire Bunny.
Dire Bunny.
Spawn, fear my sword of truthiness.
Truthiness. I love it.
We're teaching him about honesty.
Don't worry, son. You'll get to see a sword up close real soon. I promise.
Jeez.
My lady, help me! The castle is under attack!
Oh, shit. I'm naked! Guess we'll hold on to the shield for now. My dog was freaking out there. Notice how it auto-loot for me. Grease trap, lesser health poultice. We're getting healing potions, that's good. I don't like the missing.
Darling, I heard fighting outside and I feared the worst. Are you hurt? They never got through the door, thanks to you. Her scream woke me up. There were men in the hall, so I barred the door. Did you see their shields? Those are Howl's men. Why would they attack us? You don't think Howl's men were delayed? On purpose? That bastard. I'll cut his lying throat myself. Have you seen your father? He never came to bed. We must find him. And trust his mercy. What if the soldiers went into your brother's room first? Let's check on them quickly. Then we'll look for Bryce downstairs.
Less damage, less critical chance, but more armor penetration.
Perhaps we can salvage some things here, darling. Some of your father's belongings are in that trunk.
There we go. Now we can dual wield. Got a dagger. There we go. Perfect. Good. Okay. Oh, I didn't put back my stuff on. There we go. Much better.
No! My little Oren! What manner of fiend slaughters innocents? I was not even taking hostages. He means to kill all of us. Oh, poor fuckers. Let's go, I don't want to see this.
Oh, snap. 4 of them. Stunned.
Dear Landra, I'm so sorry. If she hadn't come to me, if she hadn't been here. fighting? Hal's men must be everywhere. My only grandchild is a ravaged corpse. What do I care about danger? The front gates. That's where your father must be. I have my treasury key. We could go there first and take the Kuslan sword from the vault. If anything is worth fighting to keep out of Hal's hands, it's that sword. But it may be a dangerous path. If Hal's men are inside, they must already control the castle. We must use the servants' entry in the larder to escape. Do you hear me? Then let us be swift. It is begun.
The castle has fallen! I'm getting out of here! Yes, my lady! Here they come!
I do not fear death. I have nothing else to do. They can find
My poor dog. Dog's gonna die. Sorry, pup. Alright, pup's gotta level up. $16 and $16. Oh, that's it? Okay. Stop studying me!
Together we shall leave this place.
Very well.
So many of these require a rogue. I should have made a rogue.
avenged, old sage. I swear it.
Man, I feel like I'm missing out on so many chests. Looking forward to getting an actual rogue that I can level up and... There's the treasury down there.
As you said, getting close to the treasury. The Kuzlan family blade lies inside. Use that key I gave you. That blade cannot fall into Hal's hands.
It shall be done. Very well.
Cool. 1 damage and 4 attack, so a little bit more damage, and our chance to attack is increased. Or our chance to hit is increased, rather. Some medium armor. There we go. That's what it's supposed to do. Oh, crap.
Together we shall leave this place. Escaped. They would not commit that sacrilege on top of everything else, would they?
Damn, these guys are fighting up in a chapel. I don't see Mother Malal in here, so maybe she escaped.
Man the gates. Keep those bastards out as long as you can. Your ladyship, my lady, you're both alive. I was certain Hal's men had gotten through.
They killed Oriana and Oren. I can't believe. Are you injured?
Don't worry about me, your ladyship. Thank the Maker you two are unharmed. When I realized what was happening, it was all I could do to shut the gates. But they won't keep Hal's men out long. If you've another way out of the castle, use it quickly. I've no idea. You don't think he's involved in this, do you?
Perhaps he was sent to kill Bryce? Oh dear. Have you seen him?
When I last saw the Terran, he'd been badly wounded. I urged him not to go, but he was determined to find you. He went towards the kitchen. I believe he thought to find you at the servants' exit in the larder.
Bless you, Sir Gilmore. Make her watch over you.
Make her watch over us all.
Well, we got a level up. That is level 9 and 26 dex. Huh. When in this mode, the character strikes with both weapons simultaneously. Attacks cause more damage, but the character cannot inflict regular critical hits or backstabs. This sounds like it conflicts with this one, so I'm probably not going to take that one. Alright, well. Oh, wait. Okay, it was a 14 cunning. Okay. Just seeing how much cunning we might actually need to get that next level up. Yeah, that's basically all I can choose is dual weapon sweep, huh? Well, now we have an ability to use. Curious to see how much requires 20 strength to wear this. Probably should have put my points into strength, huh? Get the extra dexterity, armor, chance to dodge, extra stamina. Any new weapons we can use? Nope, not there yet. And Dog got a level. Woohoo! That howl, by the way. Do we have tactics yet? We do. Okay. Poor dog. There we go. Aggressive. Let's set tactics for everybody. Archer. Ranged. And then myself. I will be a scrapper. And aggressive.
You would like something?
I'll go over the build a little bit more detail at some point.
We must get out! They're slaughtering everyone!
Hey, finally something I could loot.
There, you both are. I was
Bryce.
wondering when you would get here.
Maker's blood, what's happening? You're bleeding.
Hal's men found me first. Almost did me in right there. He can't get away with this. The king will...
Bryce, we must get you out of here.
I won't survive the standing, I think.
Once Hal's men break through the gate, they will find us. We must go.
Someone must reach Fergus. Tell him what has happened.
Bryce, no. The servant's passage is right here. We can flee together, find you healing magic.
The castle is surrounded. I cannot make it.
I'm afraid the turn is correct. House men have not yet discovered this exit, but they surround the castle. Getting past will be difficult.
You are Duncan, then? The Grey Warden?
Yes, your ladyship. The turn and I tried to reach you sooner.
My daughter helped me get here. Make her be praised.
I am not surprised. I fear your thanks are premature. I doubt I have saved him.
Whatever is to be done now, it must be quick. They are coming.
Duncan, I beg you, take my wife and daughter to safety.
I will, your lordship, but I fear I must ask for something in return.
Anything.
What is happening here pales in comparison to the evil now loose in this world. I came to your castle seeking a recruit. The Darkspawn threat demands that I leave with one.
I understand.
You fought your way to me through Hal's men. I think the Maker's intention is clear. I will take the Tyrna and your daughter to Ostagar, to tell Fergus and the king what happened. Then, your daughter joins the Grey Wardens.
So long as justice comes to Hal. I agree.
Then I offer you a place within the Grey Wardens. Fight with us. We will inform the king, and he will punish Hal. I'm sorry, but a Grey Warden's duties take precedence even over vengeance.
Hal thinks he'll use the chaos to advance himself. Make him wrong, bub. see that justice is done. Our family always does our duty first. The Darkspawn must be defeated. You must go. For your own sake and for Ferelden's.
We must leave quickly then.
Bryce, are you sure?
Our daughter will not die of How's treachery. She will live and make her mark on the world.
Darling, go with Duncan. You have a better chance to escape without me.
Eleanor.
Hush, Bryce. I'll kill every bastard that comes through that door to buy them time. But I won't abandon you. My place is with your father, at his side to death and beyond.
I'm so sorry it's come to this, my love.
We had a good life, and did all we could. It's up to our children now.
Then go, pup. Warn your brother. Know that we love you both. You do us proud.
They've broken through the gates. We must go now.
Goodbye, darling.
Well, that's messed up.
We will be traveling south through the hinterlands to the ruin of Ostagar, on the edges of the Korkari Wilds. The Tevinter Imperium built Ostagar long ago to prevent the Wilders from invading the northern lowlands. It's fitting we make our stand here, even if we face a different foe within that forest. The King's forces have clashed with the Darkspawn several times, but here is where the bulk of the Horde will show itself. There are only a few Grey Wardens within Ferelden at the moment, but all of us are here. This blight must be stopped, here and now. If it spreads to the north, Ferelden will fall.
Ho there, Duncan.
King Kaelan. I didn't expect
a royal welcome? I was beginning to worry you'd miss all the fun.
Not if I could help it, Your Majesty.
Then I'll have the mighty Duncan at my side in battle after all. Glorious. The other wardens told me you'd found a promising recruit. I take it this is she?
Allow me to introduce you, Your Majesty.
No need, Duncan. You are Bryce's youngest, are you not? I don't think we've ever actually met. Is it about your father? Your brother has been concerned about him. Dead? What do you mean? Duncan, do you know anything about this?
Terran Cousland and his wife are dead, Your Majesty. Arl Howe has shown himself a traitor and overtaken High Ever Castle. Had we not escaped, he would have killed us and told you any story he wished.
I can scarcely believe it. Well, how could he think he could get away with such treachery? As soon as we are done here, I will turn my army north and bring Howe to justice. You have my word. No doubt you wish to see your brother. Unfortunately, he and his men are scouting in the wilds. Not until the battle is over, I fear. Until then, we cannot even send word. I apologize, but there's nothing more I can do. All I can suggest is that you vent your grief against the Darkspawn for the time being. I'm sorry to cut this short, but I should return to my tent. Loghain waits eagerly to bore me with his strategies.
Your uncle sends his greetings and reminds you that Redcliffe forces could be here in less than a week.
Ha! Eamon just wants in on the glory. We've won 3 battles against these monsters, and tomorrow should be no different. I'm not even sure this is a true blight. There are plenty of Darkspawn on the field, but alas, we've seen no sign of an archdemon.
Disappointed, Your Majesty?
I'd hoped for a war like in the tales. A king riding with the fabled Grey Wardens against a tainted god. But I suppose this will have to do. I must go before Loghain sends out a search party. Farewell, Grey Wardens.
What the king said is true. They've won several battles against the Darkspawn here. true. Despite the victory so far, the Darkspawn horde grows larger with each passing day. By now, they look to outnumber us. I know there is an archdemon behind this, but I cannot ask the king to act solely on my feeling. Yet not enough to wait for reinforcements from the Grey Wardens of Orlais. He believes our legend alone makes him invulnerable. Our numbers in Ferelden are too few. We must do what we can and look to Teyrn Loghain to make up the difference. To that end, we should proceed with the joining ritual without delay. Every recruit must go through a secret ritual we call the joining in order to become a Grey Warden. The ritual is brief, but some preparation is required. We must begin soon. The joining is dangerous. I cannot speak more of it except to say that you will learn all in good time. Until then, you must trust that what is done is necessary. No, there are 2 other recruits here already. They have been waiting for us to arrive. Feel free to explore the camp here as you wish. All I ask is that you do not leave it for the time being. There is another Grey Warden in the camp by the name of Alistair. When you're ready, seek him out and tell him it's time to summon the other recruits. Your hound can stay with me while I attend to some business. The Grey Warden tent is on the other side of this bridge. You will find us there should you need to.
Ah, cool. Big bridge. Good music, too.
Make her watch over you, my lady.
Gotta be thorough.
It shall be done.
The Tower of Ishal is off limits. The men stationed inside are securing it now. I think they used it once to watch for wilders coming out of the forest. By orders of Teyrn Loghain, the tower is being secured by his men to be used during battle. I'm told they discovered some lower chambers, and they don't know how far down they go, so for now, everyone's to stay out. I didn't see anything like that when I was there, but who knows? Goes back to the time of the Tevinter Imperium. Dwarven make. That's probably why it's still standing.
Ah, Dwarven engineering.
Make her speed your steps.
Okay, well, this is a good spot to stop, so we're going to call it here. I hope you enjoyed the video. First of many. Actually, probably not as many as the as Baldur's Gate 3, because it's a shorter game. However, we'll do it justice. All right, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed, and if you did, like, comment, and subscribe. Not necessarily in that order, in whichever order you prefer. Anyway, you guys have a good night. Thanks for watching.